Hey guys, it's Mitch. How's it going? Okay, so it's time for another page commentary. We're looking at page 4 of issue 4 of Blood Force. Fours abound. Even in the name, Blood Fours. You can't escape it. So just before we get into it, if you enjoy the channel, if you feel like you might want to help out a little bit, go subscribe on my Patreon. Links are in the description. Okay, so this is kind of a step towards a beatdown. This is a square off between General Rancor and Gun Show. Gun Show, of course, has no guns. That's not the kind of guns he's talking about. The guns, they're for flexing. That's a... we'll see well enough on the next page. I feel like I've gone out of my way already to make him, like, pretty ridiculously ripped. And then it's going to go kind of Nova very shortly. But, yeah, so this is going to be Rancor getting all up in Gun Show's face and making some of the silliest expressions I think I've made a guy make in this comic so far. So, I'm trying a couple of things here. Always looking for ways to try and make things a little bit more dynamic. So, for instance, going with like different panel shapes here on the left, and then ending it up with an open panel border. It's not the kind of thing that necessarily occurs to me right off the bat. You see, that face that Rancor is making there, that's about 3 levels of magnitude more silly than it had to be. He's kind of going into overdrive here. I mean, this is Gun Show and Knife showed up on his home turf and started acting tough. So he's like, he's kind of being a little extra about it here. And, yeah, using a lot of brushes to fill my blacks on this. I don't know if that's necessary, and I don't think I'd really do it that much here, but at least not anymore. And Gun Show, of course, not particularly worried at the show of authority. getting the finger right up in his chest, too, and everything. Rancor is not holding back. And I don't mind how this panel looks at all, mostly with Rancor's expression. I think most of it comes down to how he's a little bit jowly. I don't think that was planned for, that just kind of developed. And I probably should talk about this. So, this is the big old punch to the chops with the slow motion wobbling the cheeks action. So this is, of course, inspired by, like, slap fight type stuff. I don't know if you guys ever watched that shit. That shit's crazy. Just people giving each other concussions for, like, hours on end, I guess. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's definitely what I want to reference. So, yeah, I actually pushed it a little bit further, because it's tough. You want to try and capture, like, several frames worth, I think, of wobbly lips in one particular drawing. It's tough to do. And kind of making his muscles super rubbery to just get that sense of looseness, like that ragdoll kind of effect. I think I wanted to get his feet up here too. And I was thinking about it, and whenever you do that, where like a foot appears out of nowhere, I'm generally kind of reticent about doing that, which I don't think I have to be. Like, guys like Jim Lee do that shit all the time, where just a foot appears, maybe you're like pretty much right out of a dude's crotch. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try it. I don't get paid enough to try that shit. And this was at the chat's behest, the tooth flying out. And big old smug smile on Gun Show's face, which he's had pretty much the entire time. A lot of overlapping panels here. I could see this being potentially confusing. Maybe not, though. Fairly straightforward action, at least. And, yeah, a little tough to get in the musculature I wanted at this angle, I think. Looks okay, but, like, it's the kind of thing where it's, no, I started to understand Liefeld. It's like, no, I just want to draw a dude standing and flexing. That's so much easier than this. But no, we are better than that. We are, just we. And I don't like his costume design. It was a little bit too off the cuff. Oh shit, we're talking Blood Wolf now. And I, I, I didn't really come up with too much there. I do like the fact that he's got a cod piece. I think him and Knife both do, actually. It's like a theme thing. They're they're like the band Manowar, where they're gonna match their cod pieces. And some more jagged panel borders. I feel like I've never really gotten the hang of these yet. They always tend to look a little wobbly to me. But flesh them out with some speed lines. Speed lines I at least know how to do. I've done enough of them now where they're not exactly daunting. And I know not to try and put too goddamn many. I've done that before, where you try and make them too tight, and like it takes like hours. This looks like it probably would have taken a little while. That's a lot of lines, dude. Like, you could have left it from there. But you got to cover up that one where you all of a sudden got the wrong angle. Pretty good job. Not too shabby. But yeah, I did like, when I was first starting doing this thing, I wanted to get like some Stephen Platt speed lines where they're pretty much right beside each other, where you almost can't see any white as a gap. And I mean, at that point, you're kind of better off just, painting a black border and making like a jagged edge around it. But I didn't do that. What I did was I fucked up my hand for like a couple of days. So, okay, this is the big dramatic punch. I think it's a pretty good one. And now we just got to flesh out the last couple of panels here as Rancor throws his weight around and makes more weird faces. This is one of those panels I'm not too keen on. The pose really is a kind of thing that I had in my head. And it's like, yeah, I know, that'll be cool. And then I drew it, and it's like, well, I can't think of a way to make this look cool. Particularly with having to draw these hands. The only thing I do like about this panel is that he's stepping outside of it, which I forgot until either I forgot or I was just deciding it when I drew it. I can't remember now. So there's going to be a bit of whiteout going on here. But yeah, I like the fact that he's stepping outside the panel borders, except for that one leg. So it looks like he's stepping through the panel border. I like that quite a bit. There is a lot of overlapping panels on this particular page. I don't know what the hell I was reading before I drew this. I gotta read that again, though. That's some crazy shit. And pretty solid musculature here. I like how that's looking. I don't know what the hell happened, but for some reason I can't make paper look like paper these days. Something happened. Ooh, good obliques. I gotta try to remember that. But yeah, between the previous page where he's scrunching up the paper and this one here, it feels like nothing looked like paper when I was drawing paper. It's like, dude, you look at paper every week. Well, every day, really, because at work and shit. You'd think you'd be able to figure it out a bit. So yeah, whiting out. So yeah, he's throwing the whole thing is he's being issued a cease and desist. Oh, here's like the worst face, like just the weirdest face. I think I just got a little silly in the pencils, and then I got to the inks. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? He's like trying so hard to sneer, and he's pretty much giving himself a hair lip here. But yeah, the whole deal with these couple of pages is that Blood Force is being issued a cease and desist by the RoboClone delegate from issue 2, whose name was Miles Austere, I believe. Because I was looking in the thesaurus from Graves, and I'm like, ooh, Austere, that's pretty good. Most of my stuff is based off of an existing character. Well, not most, but a lot of them. Like, General Rancor and, yeah, Miles Austere. I'm sure there's a few others. Anyway, that would look like a fairly quick one. That is it for page 4 of Blood Force number 4. Didn't turn out too bad, really. It's a little bit confusing here and there. Sometimes it actually gets fairly confusing. But on pages like this, I don't mind doing that. And I like the fact that I kind of messed around with the design, because I don't... Again, my instinct is to just go, like, 6-panel grid. It's, again, reading too much Cerebus as a kid. Where, you more plot out the camera movements than change the panel borders to match the dynamism of the image. That sort of thing. So it's only taken 2 years of reading almost exclusively Image comics, but I feel like we're maybe getting somewhere a little bit. So next page, we'll get into more of the fight, which is just what everybody wants to see. But for this one, that's going to do it. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, you know what? Last time I said I wasn't going as fast as I could. Let's see if I can go as fast as I could. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications. Go over and subscribe to my Patreon. It gives you early access to everything I do, from the Blood Force stuff to the YouTube videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, as well as some Patreon exclusive content. You can also follow me on Instagram and DM me there for commissions. And you can join the Blood Force Discord server. There, fucking record time. It helps a lot if you slur. All right, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Thanks again. Bye-bye.